Hi, this is Mr. Anderson, and we're going to go over solutions for 4 problems for our practice. So, let's first look at practice problem number 2. In this problem, we have tallness in daisies is dominant to shortness. Set up the Punnett square for the cross. And you're given that the cross here is big T, big T. So I'm going to put big T here. They have to go on the same side of the Punnett square. And on the other side, little t, little t. So alleles that are together have to go on the same side of the Punnett square. So inside the Punnett square, we're going to have big T, little t. I'm going to center mine a little bit better. And down here, I'm going to bring my big T down. And there'll be a little t that comes over. Likewise over here, I'm going to bring down my big T. I'm going to bring over the little t. And in the bottom, I'm going to bring down my big T. And I'm going to bring over my little t. Okay. So we write the percentages for the genotype, and in this case, it is 100% of big T, little t, to 0 big T, and 0 little t. So the phenotype is 100% tall daisies. All right, and I know that because big T is a dominant trait. It's the one that will be expressed, which is tallness. So since all the genotypes have a big T, all the genotypes will cause tall daisies. All right, so our next problem together is problem 6. And in this problem, we have pea plants. So in pea plants, purple flowers, capital P, are dominant to white flowers, lowercase p. If 2 white flowered plants are crossed, what percentage of the offspring will be white flowered? All right, so we need to take into account that we're going to have little p for our white flowers, and we've got to make some copies of this. So I'm going to copy and paste a couple of these. So I have 2 white flowered plants. To be a white flower, you have to have 2 copies of the recessive allele. So that means all my alleles here are recessive. So when I fill in my Punnett squares, I have lowercase p, lowercase p, lowercase p, lowercase p, and lowercase p, and lowercase p, and you're sensing a theme here. So these are all lowercase p. And what percentage of the offspring will be white flowered? Well, we can see that the only offspring will be white flowered. So 100% of the offspring will have white flowers. So our next problem together is problem 8. And in problem 8, 2 plants, both heterozygous, so this is big F, little f, for the gene that controls pink flower color, capital F, are crossed. What percentage of their offspring will have purple flowers, lowercase f? So there are a couple things different here. So in this type of problem, we have to use our knowledge of the terms for heterozygous and homozygous, dominant or recessive, to figure out what our gene combinations are. So we have 2 heterozygous plants. So that means that each heterozygous plant is big F, little f, So I'm going to put a big F and a little f on each side of my Punnett square. And then when I bring my alleles down, so I'll bring my big F down, and then this big F is going to come over. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to bring my little f down. Oh, but I have a big F to bring over, so I'm going to put it first. So that makes it easier to read the Punnett square. Here I have a big F. Here I have a little f that I'll bring over. Oh, there we go. And over here I have little f and little f, so that's two little f's. And the question asks, what percentage of the offspring will have purple flowers? And it tells us purple flowers is caused by the recessive allele, little f. All right, so big F, well, that's a pink flower. Big F, little f. Again, we have a big F here, so that's a dominant trait for pink flowers. So it'll be expressed, purple will not. So in these three scenarios, these three situations, those will all be pink flowers. The only one that I will get purple from is this situation here. So 1 out of 4 would give me purple flowers. Percentage-wise, that is 25% of the offspring will have, I have a typo. Let me fix my typo. Misplaced my P. All right, so 25% of the offspring will have purple flowers. Okay. Last problem to try together is problem 10. So in problem 10, we have a heterozygous white rabbit is crossed with a homozygous black rabbit. How many offspring will have white fur? So there's a couple things you have to do in this problem. First, you have to create your own alleles. So you have to create your own capital and lowercase letters. And you have to figure out which trait is dominant and which trait is recessive. And whenever we're running into that kind of situation, we could look at heterozygous. Whatever trait a heterozygous genotype has is dominant. So heterozygous white tells us that white is the dominant trait. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and use W for mine. You can use your own allele set up here, and I'm going to use lowercase w, and because these letters look very close together, I'm going to underline it. All right, so now I know a heterozygous white rabbit, so I'm going to go ahead and move a big W here because, and a little w there, because heterozygous means one of each allele, with a homozygous black rabbit. So black is the recessive trait if white's dominant. So I'm going to copy and paste my recessive allele and move it over here for black fur. All right, so now I've got my Punnett square set up. I can go in here and work in the square, and I have big W, little w. I'm going to bring my big W down. Bring my little w over. On the other side of the Punnett square, I have little w, and little w. Okay, now if you get confused with these, I suggest underlining the recessive traits so that you don't get confused when you look at them. I think we can tell over here big W from little w. All right, so the question was, how many offspring will have white fur? Okay, so white fur is the dominant allele. So in the left half of the Punnett square, we have big W, little w. Big W will give us white fur. Little w will give us black fur. So 50%, or 1/2, 50% of the offspring will have white fur. Black fur would be true too. But the question specifically asks about white fur. Okay. All right. So check the rest of your work. And after you've made sure you don't have any mistakes or errors as best you can, you should submit your assignment and check for feedback. Thanks. Till next time.